welcome to another week of Quarter Up. We're going a little relaxed this week. A lot of stuff has happened for us.
For all of us.
It's either going to be relaxed or super angry, because basically I'm the only one out of the three of us that's not broken. So that having been said, I'm going to launch us into our weeks. My week was very calm, very relaxed. I found out today that apparently gear in WoW switches its primary stat based on what spec you're in, so that made my life way easier. And what else did I do this week? I worked on some stuff for the website coming soon to you. Some fun new features that I'm trying to figure out how to make work with code before I go and buy somebody else's solution to do it, which is the normal flow of work at QueueTimes. Is we try to do something and then I fail miserably, and then we go buy something to do it, and then I'm like, oh wait, I could have done it this way, and then we take that thing away and then we put in the thing that I made, and then it's great. So we just waste money all day long. And that's it. Did I do anything else cool? Not really. But these other two people did. Go ahead, guys. Indigo, how's your week, buddy?
Indigo, you start off first.
Yeah, my week was pretty good. Thursday was my birthday, so that was awesome.
Happy birthday.
Woo!
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And then let's see, what else did I do? I flew to Seattle Friday morning, and I hung out in Seattle and went to the Pike's Place marketplace. And that was a lot of fun. I'd been there before while working, but this time was more like with TS and Yanel. And so we were hanging out there. And then Friday, okay, so I woke up at 5 a.m. on Friday. And then on Saturday, I woke up at 6 a.m. to go do Tough Mudder, where it's 10, if you guys don't know, it's 10 miles and usually 21 obstacles, but it was, excuse me, it was actually a little over 10 miles and 23 obstacles this time around, which was really awesome. I'm all cut up on my knees and my elbow right there. Am I right there?
Yeah, the elbow part was due to Tough Mudder, the knee part, not so much.
Yeah. And then
It was Seattle with a knee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. And then, but I actually wore my GoPro for the first time ever, which was awesome. So I'm going to edit together a real quick video and post it on my YouTube channel, which that will be its only video. Woohoo. So look forward to that. And then I woke up this morning at 4 a.m. to get on an airplane to fly back to be here for this shenanigans. So, yeah.
So
I
Indigo
do
is
this all the
exhausted. Indigo is physically
I
and, I don't know, he's been awake for a long time, exhausted. Adrock, how was your week and why are you broken?
So I did a convention on Saturday, and I do a lot of those right now because I'm trying to build a business. And this one was in like Pasadena, California. And how do I tread carefully here?
You don't.
You
smash them into the ground, bro.
Hey, you don't want to burn all the bridges.
No, burn this one, though.
At least in this case, there was some issues with the ideas that were on the convention floor. They'd assumed that the live music setup in an indoor auditorium was going to be a great idea to mix with vendors and artists, which sounds fine in theory if you're like on an open air campus and you're doing a convention. But when you're in a closed space, all that sound tends to reverberate off of every wall if you don't do your levels right. And people that are vending cannot sell their wares or communicate with even each other at the same table if they're only 2 feet apart. So I was yelling for a good 9 hours yesterday, like straight up yelling. And this is a guy who's done concert tours and shows. I'm used to throwing my voice for a long time and talking for a long time. This actually killed me this morning when I woke up. I sounded like a sandpaper handjob, which is a great visual aid if you
That's absolutely fucking vile. What's wrong with you?
honestly, my voice right now
God.
sounds a million times better than I woke up this morning. I sounded horrendous. So I've been sucking on cough drops and tea all day.
You can't say sucking on cough drops after saying sandpaper hand job because our minds are already in the gutter.
That's where I live essentially, but my voice can really only go this loud at this tone, so I'm probably going to sound a little more monotone than normal, and I'm going to be a little more reserved. But that's mostly what's happening on my week this week, and I have something really cool that hopefully pans out. I have videos I'm working on this week for World of Warcraft and Atlas Reactor, which is coming out soon. Battle Right I'm trying to get into so that I could do some content videos for that. But let's just go on with our weeks of news this week, and I'll kick it off because I wanted to kind of just get this out of the way now, so that you two aren't angry at me for the rest of the show. So
yeah, let's
So you
start
should have
it
done it
off
at the
real
end of the
boring.
show,
Yeah, what the
Logic.
hell's wrong with you?
if we get it out of the way now, I don't have to hear you guys going "Yee" the whole time.
All right. I'm gonna take a nap while this happens because I know what it's about. So
It's video game related. It's completely video game related. Everyone knows that Battlefield 1's coming out. Everyone's also kind of vaguely aware the new Call of Duty's coming out called Infinite Warfare. It's taking place in the future with space guns and space bros. And Call of Duty's all about getting big name voices on top of slightly outlandish cinematic style offerings. And in the past, they've had Ice Cube show up, Jason Statham, Kiefer Sutherland, Gary Oldman, Keith David, Idris Elba, Brandon Routh, Michelle Rodriguez. Like, they've always been very big on that. Like, hey, we have this actor in our game, and they're doing this and that. Well, I'm a big fan of the UFC, and I found out hilariously that Conor McGregor and Kit Harington are going to be in the new Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which I find fantastic because then I can just say, fuck you, you'll do fucking nothing all day on my little Xbox One or PS, like on my microphone, throwing Monster Energy drink grenades at everybody. If anybody watched 202, it was kind of like the whole awesome thing there. Go, dude. Okay. Go watch Tommy Toehold. He's got a whole joke about it with what happens on this thing. But basically, more Call of Duty stuff that Call of Duty does. And honestly, when's the last time any of us have played Call of Duty?
I have played it before. As for when, I don't remember because it was such an unmemorable experience that I can't fathom the last time I played Call of Duty.
When the last Call of Duty came out, I played it. I think is when, and it came out and I got it because I fell for the stupid hype of like, this is the biggest and best version of this game that's ever existed, and you need to get it because it's so awesome and wonderful, and that's the best ass. And I was like, all right, I'm doing this thing, and I got it, and then I played it for maybe 2 days. I was like, this is not the bestest. I'm not having fun.
This is the worstest.
It's not great.
I think Black Ops 2 was the last one I played because I love the zombie mode so much. And I didn't mind that because they had a whole bunch of really cool, convoluted lore with the zombie mode that made no fucking sense. Like, we're talking Call of Duty style level of nonsense. Or not Call of Duty. Call of Duty. Metal Gear Solid styles of nonsense. But basically, I just wanted to kind of just get my MMA fix out here on the show.
All right.
That's
now that that's over, let's talk about stuff.
What are you gonna do about it, huh? You'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing.
I mean, I won't do fucking nothing. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna calmly move. I don't want to fight you.
I'll take this fucking monster and chuck it at your head.
I don't. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna assume that you're sounding like the person
updating stuff
that you're trying to emulate. Yes, Steam is updating stuff. This is one of the more cliche changes, like workflows, that I've seen in the past couple weeks. So Steam has decided to change the way that the reviews work. So for those of you that don't know, Steam reviews are ways of players to kind of rank games, obviously. So you go and you write a review and you leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and it calculates into an overall score based on like how many people left a thumbs up versus a thumbs down, and like they have like a mostly positive or mostly negative thing on the page for the game, which represents like a total aggregation of who is giving thumbs up or thumbs down, and then they separate it out into like overall and over the last couple weeks so that players can kind of get an idea of like how updates are affecting the game, so on and so forth. It's a good system in my opinion. They decided to change some stuff about it. So according to Valve's internal analysis, their metrics, games that were acquired via product keys are more likely to get positive review scores than those purchased directly through Steam. And Valve is thinking, well, maybe some developers, since for those of you that don't know, it's 100% free for a developer to give out a key to their own game. They don't have to do anything. They just click get key and they get a key and they can give it out to whoever. So Valve is thinking, maybe developers are just giving keys to people and saying, hey, here's a key, review this positively on Steam.
Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Exactly.
There's a lot of YouTube reviewers and small journal blog reviewers that have been talked about this moral dilemma for a while. Like, it's hard to review a game I get a key for because I don't know how much it's influenced me, like consciously or subconsciously.
Right, exactly. And they can't do things like and by they I mean Valve. Valve can't do things like say this reviewer's opinion doesn't count because it came from a certain it doesn't really make sense. Like you can't target fake reviews based on IP address is basically the point I'm trying to get out.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to try and combat this, Valve changed the review system so that the reviews that come from keys that were generated outside of a Steam purchase, so if they were generated by the developer, if they were by some third party,
given up from G2A,
G2A, if you purchase or activate a free key from anywhere outside of Steam, essentially your reviews don't count in that aggregation anymore. So
interesting.
Yeah. So if you vote thumbs up or thumbs down, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the overall score of the game. So
your review still goes up. You're just not counted toward the positive, negative,
right? And
that's
something I was getting to. If you write a written review like this game is garbage and fuck everything about it, and you post it, people can still go through and read that, but your thumbs up or thumbs down doesn't count, doesn't mean anything. And so initially last week, the way this worked was that when you clicked on the reviews to start reading them, you were only reading reviews from people that had purchased the game through Steam. You weren't even reading the reviews by default from the non-Steam purchase people, and you had to go into their filters, which they updated a little bit, and now you can filter in or out reviews from non-Steam purchases. And so you had to go manually filter them back in order to read them. And then this week, some developers freaked out from Kickstarter because obviously the Kickstarter purchases, the money goes in through Kickstarter, so the devs have to generate keys to give it to their Kickstarter purchasers. And then they're telling Steam, like, you're literally blocking out our most loyal and passionate fans from having their voice heard because they're the ones who stuck with us, like, from the very beginning up until release, and you're not letting them give us a positive review. And Valve's just like, okay. And so what they did was they took away the default filter that removes the written reviews of non-Steam purchases. So now when you click on the review section, you're seeing 100% of the reviews that have been left, but their thumbs up or thumbs downs still don't count. So that's their little compromise that they've done.
I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this. I mean, on one hand, I get why they do it. They feel that, I mean, outside of the meme reviews, that a free key or an outside purchase key reviewer could potentially be tainting the view of the game to probably an extreme, especially if they have their own legion of followers that then kind of parrot them. At the same time, it's weird to not include that into the review. I don't know. Like I know you guys give me crap sometimes when I say stuff and you're like, oh, you're just being negative about a game. Like I'm trying to like voice an honest opinion and not be too swayed by the fact that I've been possibly given a key through a game. Like case in point, Atlas Reactor. It's on Steam. It has scores and reviews, but I consciously try to make sure that I don't let the fact that I get kickbacks from them in the sense of keys and early access to the game, skew the way I look at the game as critically as I can. So if I'm sitting there going like, if it's got problems, it's got problems, but it's not everybody does that, and this is Valve's way of combating that.
Well, and here's my 2 cents about this. Is there are a couple questions we have to ask ourselves about this new system, and those are: is it going to eliminate false reviews? How much damage is it going to do by way of modifying how the game is perceived? And does it affect like the player base in any substantial way? So the first one is it going to eliminate negative reviews? I mean, I doubt it's going to eliminate, not negative reviews. Is it going to eliminate false reviews? I doubt it's going to eliminate them altogether, but if you have to pay the cost of the game in order to get an account to be able to review it, I don't think it's going to be a viable option for a lot of people, a lot of developers, especially like small indie developers that, I imagine do this, which if it's not going to eliminate it completely, it's at least going to reduce it by a substantial amount. So we're going to be able to, trust those aggregated reviews a little more. 2, is it going to, how much is it going to catch positive reviews, actual real reviews? And I think that it's going to get them in the sense that, it's not going to get rid of them completely, right? It's going to get rid of how they affect the overall aggregate opinion, but it's not going to get rid of what the person wrote. It's not going to redact anything from what they say. It's not going to hide it. So I don't really see the damage it's doing.
I have a question for you though. What do you consider a real review? Like for me, a real review, it could be a small
real
review
is
or
a review that is written by someone that has an opinion, as opposed to written by somebody that's getting a paycheck, or written by somebody that's receiving some kind of incentive.
I mean, I can see that. But I mean, like, I feel that a real review actually has thought into their process, like into what they're writing in the review.
I agree with what you're saying, like in the broad sense of it, but as it applies to this specific discussion, I don't think it matters whether someone's like, oh, I hate this game, penis. Like, that's just as valid a review as some 2-paragraph long.
That's not like even a grade school, even a grade school English teacher can tell you, okay, fine, I hate this game, penis. Why? That's not a review. That's just an opinion.
Right.
Like, even if you've been kicked back on the game, your opinion is no less valid so long as you're giving your reasons. As someone who's being given a kickback could legitimately give a glowing review of the game and give the reasons for it. But then to have that opinion discarded because they got a kickback feels a little.
Yeah, but hold on, guys.
No. We're talking about two different things. I'm talking about somebody who is, hey, here is a key for the game. Go review it positively. That is
true.
Different
that
than here's a key of this game. Please review my game. And when someone is being given a key to a game so that they can review it, it's not so that they go write a review on Steam. It's so that they put like social media out there, so that they get like the word of mouth out. It's not so that this aggregate thumbs up, thumbs down thing goes a little bit more in favor of thumbs up. Because if PewDiePie goes and votes thumbs up on a game, it counts just the same as if I vote thumbs up on a game. So it's not giving them anything by having PewDiePie upvote their game. Like,
let me ask this question, you guys. The main thing is that all it's doing is that the thumbs up and thumbs down doesn't show up. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Your actual review
as of now, yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, so I please can one of the two of you explain to me why that is a big deal? Because while those individuals are getting a key and they will thumbs up and thumbs down it, if it's not showing up there, then that's only such a small percentage of those people that are getting that.
I feel
like it's not going to affect the overall scoring. Like, let's just say 10 people or 30 people. Let's say 30 people got keys, but thousands of people bought the game. I don't understand how those 30 points are really going to make a large overpass.
And even if it's half of all people that have the game got it from keys that were activated from elsewhere, like a dev key or a G28 key or something like that. Even if it's half, I still feel like the breakdown of people that like it versus disliking it will be the same. Like, the ratio of those two groups is probably going to be pretty fucking close. Unless there's some weird anomaly in, like, the type of person that goes to G2A versus the type of person that goes to Steam directly to buy a game. Which I don't think would be the case.
So the reason why this affects, like the chat was saying, indie games as well as what Krug and we were saying about indie games, is that the number of reviewers for smaller titles are typically a lot less. So every review and every thumbs up tends to count more on the average. So if people are getting them from a third party, they're immediately discounted because of that. Or if they're getting them from the developer, specifically like Kickstarter and for Humble Bundle and from keys from the developers. So those small titles take a hit because they might have 30 reviews total, but only maybe 12 of them count towards a thumbs up, thumbs down system, which a lot of players look at a glance.
So here's
first for even going there.
We don't know how Steam. So it's not obvious, but it's safe to assume that Steam uses the number of reviews that a game has to decide whether or not to recommend it as something to download. So we don't know if the total number of reviews is being applied to in that situation, or if it's just the Steam purchase reviews. We don't know that information. So if you go and leave a thumbs up on an indie game that has like 4 reviews and now it has 5 reviews, we don't know if it's taking that into consideration. Or if 100 people go to an indie game, like it got posted on Reddit or something, 100 people go and vote on this indie game. We don't know if it's taking that into account in its recommendation algorithm or not. We just know that when somebody lands on the page, they're not going to see those votes.
You know what we
That's all
do
we
know
know.
about Steam, though.
And that's actually my other thing is that we're talking about how it's going to hurt indie games, but I'll be honest with you guys, and I may be, and I highly doubt I'm the only one out of the three of us, but if I go in and I see a game, whether it's got a positive thumbs up or a negative thumbs down, or actually it doesn't even say if it says positive, mixed, or mostly negative.
Yeah.
Those are its like three range. It doesn't say 50 positives and 40 negatives. It just
doesn't do a
says
rating system.
It does,
positive.
No,
What?
it just has a recommendation based off of like those vague terms. They don't do a percentage because then it
Yeah.
goes in the ratings, and then it's like people ratings in general. I feel are really outdated, and so Steam's
Yeah, it
trying an
says
alternative way.
so
to
if
it.
you mouse over mostly positive, it says 75% of the 12 reviews for this game are positive.
Oh,
I just picked a
never
random
hovered
game.
over. I just didn't have it over. You know what I do know about Steam though is the fact that they tend to do these new things every once in a while, but then they just leave it after a short period of time, like say curators, and they never go back and kind of help those things out. So hey, Steam and Valve, how about you keep fixing what you've already got as a feature of your system before adding more new shit, and then just leaving that alone and moving on to
Yeah.
something new.
So, okay, but this is the thing is when you go to the front, if you go into the page and it says, like, for example, I clicked on Warhammer 40,000, Eternal Crusade, right? It says mixed, right?
Mhm.
So that's its release date was 2 days ago and it says that it's mixed reviews. I have to physically mouse over it to see the percentage and the overall users that reviewed it. So 66% users reviewed this game are positive. Now, the first thing you see is mixed. The first thing you see isn't positive or negative. You just see that it's mixed. So let's see, there's 1,600 or 66 people that reviewed it. You know, you can tell if 50 people of them are, got a key or bought it through Humble Bundle or whatever the deal is. So the thing is that you actually have to want to get more information about why it's mixed, and at that point that's when the reviews actually come in place. You physically click on that number and it will actually bring you to that page and will have your full on reviews. And if you're going to get more information, those reviews are way more helpful than a thumbs up or thumbs down, especially when it says
average users though.
What?
We're not considered average users though, because we will actually do that. We'll look at the general consensus and then find hopefully the best written for either case. A lot of Steam users, a lot of average users don't.
Yeah, average users are going to see that first thing, which is positive, mixed, or mostly negative.
And the reason why they consider that a problem is when they take out the third-party purchases as part of that aggregate of mixed, positive, or negative, they feel that this will not be an actual representation of the game. Whereas Valve is saying, technically yes, because we believe that there's enough of these third-party purchases that are skewing the reviews of this game and the aggregate of this game. So what we're trying to do is filter that out so we get a more accurate assumption of what this game is to our user base. This is what they're trying to do.
I'm completely okay with this.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, I'm not a developer. Maybe if I was, I'd have a problem with it, like Adrex saying. But as a consumer, I don't care if by they I mean the developers, if the developers take like a shift in how the game is being reviewed, if there is a chance that aggregate is more accurate. That's my goal, is to have more accurate information. That having been said, I will point this out. I don't use Steam reviews to decide whether or not I want to buy a game.
Either.
Ever. I use reviewers that I trust and my own personal assessment of their media so that I can decide whether or not I want to buy it. Those are the things that I use.
I think we all do the same thing.
I actually read Steam reviews. I legitimately read them.
Oh, this actually then would appeal to you more than us, because I do the same as Krug does. I talk to friends that might have played the game or like it, and then also go to content creators that I trust in their opinion anyway.
I do that as well, but I also, like, if I'm on the fence, this is honestly the only time I ever use it is when I'm on the fence. I get people that are like, yeah, I liked it, was all right. Or, no, it could have been. I will actually go in there because I'm not actually going to spend the time, and I don't mean like writing his penis like Krug said earlier, but like someone that actually sits down, like I can actually see that this person has played 31.3 hours on it and has written a paragraph about this game. Like I can legitimately say, all right, that person has got some sort of grasp. But the person right below that has played 203.6 hours, and these are their bullet points that they've given. They've given 4 bullet points and why this game is not a good purchase. They have a significantly larger grasp on this game based off of information. And while I talk to a friend or hang out with a friend, they're like, oh, I played a couple hours or I played a little bit. You don't really gauge that kind of information. Like, and then also the fact that some have like, this is a pre-release review. Like, this is information that the person has reviewed that they got that was cited at. Also, it's also like items like next to them, like the Steam reviews have a lot of information that like you wouldn't get from your friends. Like, for example, mouse over is this product is activated via Steam key, which is what we're talking about, and this one says product was purchased directly from Steam. You can actually see the different reviews and have that information. So I mean, I don't know, I like it.
Just like, hey, we're allowed to have differing opinions.
Followed by, I don't know, I guess I like it. Anyways.
Speaking of possibly skewed opinions of a game for various possible reasons, Atlas Reactor is going into, I believe, either open game or open beta on October 4th. So to commemorate that, they finally put out a beta trailer, which is it's actually super fun. So it's coming out in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. What are your guys' opinions of it? And I'll try to give mine as well after. Because honestly, at this point, if you don't know what it is, it's a turn-based arena fighter in the vein of Battle-Right, Overwatch, games of the like with a bit of like Final Fantasy Tactics / like Ogre Tactics, Fire Emblem mixed in.
So we've streamed Atlas Reactor before, for those of you that don't know, and it is very, very fun. But this trailer is the fucking best. This trailer is like on Overwatch level of launch trailer. Like, it is so good. It's animated really well. It's funny. And it like shows off, like, I don't know. I like the way Overwatch shows off their characters' abilities in their animated trailers. And this does that too. Like, there's a Lockwood that like shoots around a corner and you see him like, he's turning and he like aims at a wall. And then it goes into this like slow time. Like, I'm going to use math to calculate the ricochet of this bullet. Pew, pew, pew. And then it like hits the guy and he's like, eh. It's funny. Like, that's the important part, is it's fucking hilarious. Now, I don't think it does a really good job of showing off Atlas Reactor's gameplay at all, because it's really fast-paced and really bombastic, and Atlas Reactor is not fast-paced or bombastic. Not to say that it's not fun, but it is a substantially more thoughtful game than this trailer makes it out to be. That having been said, I appreciate the trailer for what it is, a funny, like, social media thing. And I think that you should play Atlas Reactor. Well, let me rephrase that. Go watch some Atlas Reactor actual gameplay after you watch the trailer. Or decide if you want to play it or not.
Video breakdowns of how to play the game / other characters you might be interested in from QueueTimes.com.
Yeah, from QueueTimes.com.
On YouTube.
Obviously from QueueTimes.com. Why would you go
anywhere else? It's not like one of us have access to it. Jake, Indigo, quick thoughts?
I like the trailer just because the fact that it does show how the gameplay works, in the sense of the times that it's the times it's actually showing the gameplay, or like giving examples, is those blue moments where it slows time down. Like, I think that's what's supposed to represent that. And then them actually moving around and talking and whatnot is supposed to represent the actual actions that are happening at that moment. Like,
right. The resolution phase.
Yeah. Now, that being said, the environment is not destructible. The environment does not do anything like that whatsoever. That was my biggest issue with the video.
There isn't a single explosion in that game that covers the whole map. That is not a thing. Don't care what character it is.
I was just sitting there like, hey, that guy can't pick up the environment and throw it.
I want him to.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I mean, that's viable. Cool. But other than that, I think it'll get people interested. Yeah.
It's a hype.
I think we've had.
It's not
conversation about trailers. Right. I like trailers like this because it gets me hyped and interested in the game, and then I find out what the game's about.
Is he like utterly silent for you now?
He cut out a little bit, but we get the gist. He likes these trailers because he likes hype videos,
right?
And not in like an ironic way. He thoroughly enjoys them.
Whereas I normally hate them, but this one is fucking golden. This one's great. I'll take this one any day of the week. This is what they should be. Why did you skip Blizzard, bro? You moved
I didn't
straight
skip
to
Blizzard, did
yeah,
we?
Yeah, we skipped Blizzard's phasing out Battle.net.
Oh, I apologize.
Okay,
I just
everybody.
accidentally scrolled down.
Battle.net is no longer a thing. It's never going to be a thing ever again. Battle.net is gone.
That's super not what that says.
Oh,
No,
okay.
what they're
Well, then
basically
what
doing
does
is
it
switching
say?
services
Sorry.
from Battle.net to Blizzard.
Sorry.
So
I might be
recently,
wrong.
we've been. Well, I'll go back to my Atlas Reactor thoughts in a little bit, but real quick for Blizzard, they've been introducing new things like Blizzard Streaming, Blizzard Play, that kind of stuff. So basically, they're rebranding Battle.net to the Blizzard brand because it used to be back in like the early to mid to late 90s when you were doing these games for like CS:GO and for Warcraft and for StarCraft. You had to have an alternate portal for people to get into your stuff, like Bungie.net and then Bungie.com for extra communications and shit. That's where Battle.net came from. And now that you've been able to do this all one portal for all things of your game and your company, they've realized that Battle.net is becoming a bit redundant. So basically they're just going to rebrand it and close it down in that old respect and then rebrand it into the Blizzard idea of things. So Blizzard Streaming, Blizzard Play, Blizzard Friends, Blizzard Forums. So that's essentially what they're doing.
What they said was the Battle.net name was designed to basically explain to people that you will use this service in order to battle with your friends or battle with other actual people. That's like what the name was supposed to be. But they don't need that anymore because everybody's like, duh, we know multiplayer is the thing. Like, you don't have to explain that to us. So now they kind of have the freedom to expand that name. And so they're going to take the opportunity to do so. Sorry, did I interrupt you? Did you have more Atlas Reactor things to say?
I didn't even get to talk about it yet. But I'll make it real quick because we have a list to talk about.
Atlas Reactor
So for me,
King.
it's, I guess, as a disclaimer, I've gotten kickbacks from Tryon in the sense of free keys and skins for Atlas Reactor for promoting their content. And that was before they even knew who I was. I did it for fun, and I got an open beta key. But still, I got kickbacks. I figure it's easier to say that. And I've realized that we're slowly turning into burgeoning content creators and critics in our own right, even if we're a tiny website and tiny content creators. I feel like it's still necessary to do that. As for
we're all
Atlas
pretty
Reactor
fat.
itself,
I don't know what you mean about tiny, but
as for Atlas Reactor itself, the trailer is really fun. It's got a good sense of humor that echoes throughout the game. Obviously doesn't correlate to the gameplay trailer, which would be the biggest shock for players when they go in and play Atlas Reactor. Like I said, because it's turn-based, you have this waiting period before you do attacks and they resolve themselves. It's gonna throw players off, so they tried their best to mimic it without slowing down the pace of the thing too much. All that's said and done, I feel that that's going to be its biggest detriment, and it's also its biggest plus, is that it's not like other games in the market that are constantly in fast-paced go, 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 go mode. Atlas Reactor is going to force you to sit down, look, assess, and then act. And some players don't have the patience for it, or they just don't have the awareness for it, and they're going to find it, at least in their opinion, unnecessarily difficult and or stupid. So they're just going to kind of write the game off as a knockoff of, it just wanted to be this, but it wasn't that good, so it turned into turn-based, where this game, as long as Tryon doesn't screw over its player base, like it have in the past with other games, which something should always be noted, like Dom Games and Black Desert Online, people should take that with a grain of salt when they go into Atlas Reactor. Tryon Worlds is helping develop and publish it, so they've so far been doing this really well in terms of their purchasing ability. They're following more of a League of Legends, Smite, Heroes of the Storm route in terms of content and how they release it, how you can acquire it, but you never know. So that's my thoughts on Atlas Reactor as it currently stands. I think it's worth playing, but I think people should be very wary of it considering who's behind it.
So as long as they don't put it in your back door, you'll be okay with the game. Hey, speaking of back doors,
Such a bad transition.
Shut up, man. I tried. All right, it's the thought that counts. Street Fighter V apparently updated their game and installed a driver on machines, on PCs. This is a PC specific thing. And that driver is apparently designed to either gather information or manipulate data in such a way that it helps prevent cheating. But apparently that driver was so poorly written that it basically allowed any application on the machine to use that driver to obtain kernel-level access to your operating system. Now, what is kernel-level access for those of you that don't know? Basically, it is the level of permissions on your computer that allows anything to be done to anything else. So, like, when your operating system deletes itself, that's using kernel-level permissions, not some other level of permissions. It's the be-all, end-all of who can do what, where. And so that was fucking hilarious. I haven't seen a comment from them about this, which is kind of sad and kind of scary.
Alert people?
Yeah, they need to start like really seriously telling people like, yo, uninstall Street Fighter until I get this shit fixed. Like, this is a huge fucking problem. someone's already seen this and is developing something to take advantage of it. If you have Street Fighter on your computer, I would personally recommend that you remove it from your computer until you can confirm that this is no longer a problem. Yeah, this is a clusterfuck over here.
They did officially say something. They said the rollback to the PC version of the Street Fighter V prior to the security measure update is now live. The new September content is included.
See that? Fuck me. Well, that's good.
Boom.
Good.
Suck it.
Good on them. That was good on them. That having been said, still fucking hilarious that it happened, and makes me glad that I'm not playing Street Fighter. Also, isn't it kind of frightening that something like that can happen? Like a game developer could go so far in their pursuit for anti-cheatitude that they can essentially expose all of your data.
Just first time, won't be the last time.
No, don't say that. Be happy about it.
It won't be. But I've also been a little busy watching all these creative kills with Dishonored to really care about that thing with Capcom because I don't play Street Fighter.
Yeah, Dishonored 2 looks really fucking good. Dishonored 2 creative kills. So for those of you that don't know, Dishonored is a game where you play as Corvo, and I think there's a new character you can play as in Dishonored 2. Yeah, Emily. And you have your assassins, and you have these like cool assassin-y abilities, like create a clone of yourself and then switch places with it, or a bunch of other like really cool mechanics. Bethesda posted a video of like cool kills that they came up with. So one of the abilities, this is kind of my favorite ability. One of the abilities allows you to link like NPCs together, and then whatever you do to one of the NPCs happens to all of the ones that you've linked together. So
it's some OP shit.
Yeah, it's really fucking OP as balls. So they create a clone by a bridge or by a wall that's overlooking like a body of water, and then they link the clone to a guard, to another guard, to another guard, to another guard, and then they throw the clone into the water, and then all the guards go whoosh flying past them into the water as well. It's fucking hilarious. Like every single one of those things was like the most satisfying death that I've ever seen in a video game. Just like
Dishonored's whole thing is it allows you to accomplish like Deus Ex. Accomplish the objectives any way you want, either stealthily or create as much havoc as possible.
Yeah, I will say some of them were a little like inefficient. Like there's this one where they're trying to take an unconscious man's body from a building, and so they grab the body on their shoulders, they shoot out the window, throw his body out the window, and then stop time, and then they shoot like there's a guard post in front of them now, and then they shoot like a big chandelier thing, and it like starts to fall. And then they unfreeze time and like land, and then stop time again, and then grab the guy that they threw out of the window, put him back on his shoulder, and then they unfreeze time again, and the chandelier crashes and it like blows up the guard tower thing, and then they just casually walk. And I'm like, bitch, why don't you just shoot the thing first and then grab the guy and jump out the window? And
don't lie. If you saw that in a movie, you'd be like, oh,
yeah, you're right. I would.
You get to do that now. Wrong. You get to do that. That's the whole point of this. You are that badass.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking cool, despite the fact that it was the most inefficient use of abilities I've ever seen in a video game.
Hey, looking awesome does not mean you take the direct path. It means you take the awesome path.
It usually means the complete opposite. It usually means do as much as you can outside of the most efficient thing to make it look cool.
Go from point A to point Z when you're trying to get to
Why
B.
do you think the Fonz always hit it with his fist instead of plugged it back in?
I don't think that was the problem with
it looks cooler when you hit a jukebox with your fist and go, hey, then bend over, plug it in and go, it works.
That's my whole job. Sad days. Somebody found something about Minecraft? Ew.
This is cool. So
it's Minecraft Education Edition. There's a difference.
Excuse me.
So a while back, Minecraft created an EDU version, and it's because people were using Minecraft to teach stuff like physics, statistics, history, science to a degree, and other things. Multiplication to students ages from like grade 1 all the way to high school. Some teachers would recreate historical landmarks as walkthroughs and like walk through their class through this recreation of like the Library of Congress or the battle, like the battles that inspired Les Miserables or something, and like do that, like teach them in that way. It's more interactive learning. So Minecraft officially created an EDU version for classrooms, like multiple licenses, a more creative mode to do this kind of thing. And now, apparently, again, Indigo found this. They're officially launching Minecraft EDU at November 1st.
Yep. So you can actually play the free version of the education version until November 1st, where they will then be releasing it officially. It is a $5 yearly membership per user, or you can get a district-wide license. There's also going to be a classroom mode that offers a top-down look at the Minecraft world via a companion app. In the app, the teacher can manage the world's settings, talk to students in-game, and give out items or teleport their kids around the map with a single interface.
God
This is
mode.
cool. Yeah, it's God mode. Yeah, exactly.
How many
And-
teachers do you think are going to revert to trolling? Like, I'm going to spawn a bunch of lava here and then drop you all in it. Teacher,
This is
what are we
called
learning from
chance.
this? That life's not fair, you stupid little kid. Burn.
You get an F.
Well, there's some really
Everyone
really
fails.
interesting things. Like I've seen people where they've taken a Minecraft world where they have a limited amount of resources, and then they drop everyone in there individually, and they have to figure out how to live in this environment with this limited amount of
Oh
resources.
yeah, the skyblock ones where you have to like create farms for certain renewable resources to like grow your platform so that you can build other ways of gathering different resources. Like, yeah, that could be like some critical thinking style
Yeah,
of
and
learning. I like that.
The goal of Minecraft EDU isn't so much of like replace all learning with Minecraft. It's a supplement to what's being
Replace
taught
all
already in
learning.
classes.
That should be their slogan.
A
Replace
lot of people,
all
like,
learning with Minecraft.
Like I have a family full of teachers. All of my aunts, my mom are teachers. Some of them are science teachers. I have one that's a kindergarten teacher, and one who's like I think a third grade teacher. And they told them about Minecraft EDU. Two of them were dismissive because they felt that they're just playing video games all day. And to be honest, that curriculum, the kindergartner and third grade teacher could use it, but I feel like for them it wouldn't be as effective. They would have to recreate extra lesson plans for it, and it just becomes convoluted for them, and they're not really savvy anyway, so they're going to be like, meh. The other two, the science teachers, teaching like things about biology and recreating animal cells and plant cells, I told them about that, and they could do that, and they went, this is really cool. I don't know if I had time to like create two different lesson plans in a game and physically, but if I had the resources, I probably could. And they actually went to their districts, and like they both said no because X, Y, and Z reasons, but they found the inherent usefulness of it. And when they realized that it's another supplement to teaching, because they really can't go on field trips anymore and do this kind of shit when they wanted to, in the past they could be able to. It's really kind of interesting if you have someone who has the patience and the utility to do it, like, and to like use it to its full potential for their classroom.
So basically, a nerdy teacher. Like if I were a
Yeah,
teacher,
or like for example, the school that they highlight here, they actually hired a teacher that specifically taught through media science. Like that's basically what they did.
I thought you were going to tell me that there was a degree out there somewhere for teaching children with Minecraft specifically.
No.
And I was going to be like, yo, where's my diploma? Let me get at that, bro.
Yeah, and we also said last week another game, Eco, is trying to do something similar as well.
Mhm.
Maybe not in Minecraft's versatility, but recreating things like supply and demand early.
Yeah, Eco's basically like the hyper-specific version of this, because Eco is actually trying to teach a specific lesson. Like, your actions in the real world have an impact on your environment, and here's what they are. Whereas
Like,
Minecraft
economics
is
is
just
kick out of
like,
this.
look at this big canvas you have, go play.
Yeah.
Kind
There's
of
some
like
really cool ones if you
hippie
go
learning.
searching through YouTube, as some teachers have like done their lesson plans on. They're really fun. Like I said, one art history teacher recreated stuff like the Louvre and was able to take a virtual walkthrough with his students. And this guy was like a high school art teacher. It's like he was able to take them like a one-to-one recreation of the Louvre that he did on his own free time, took it in the class, and then walked them through and said, yeah, it's essentially we're going to Paris and just in a blockier form. And I can take you through this as where all the pieces are.
And this is the thing is, as people create with this application, they actually can share it and upload it, and so that other teachers, so the more that it gets used, the more lesson plans that are going to be pre-created before. So for example, this teacher created a one-to-one Louvre, puts it up there. Now, not only did he spend the time to do that, but now someone else doesn't have to spend the time to build the Louvre. They can build the Eiffel Tower. They can build, other, the pyramids in Egypt.
Plebs that don't have the patience for that kind of thing can just download it and use it, and not have to go through the work.
It's kind of very similar to how SketchUp works. Like people build things on SketchUp and then upload it online, and people then can turn around.
Talented people create models, and then Krug uses them, and then.
And the reason why this is actually greater than you think it is because a lot of school districts and states, they have very similar guidelines and they have very similar ways they progress throughout the school year. So if you get people who are already preempting this with like creating educational supplements with Minecraft EDU, other teachers can go, hey, this resource is already up, so we can use already, insert it into our lesson plan as like an extra special bit of it. And it all ties together because a lot of teachers in districts and states are on the same general path of what they have to teach when they have to teach it by.
And so, it's relatively cheap.
Yeah.
So,
I guess if you're paying for, I was imagining you're paying for a license per student, but that's not what you're doing. You're paying for a license per workstation, which isn't that much.
Yeah.
Like, and even if you are paying per student, $5 is not that much money. That's like a lunch pack at school for a day. And while some people probably can't afford it, that's still all. It's $5 for an entire year.
Yeah, I'm just saying from like the school district's perspective, when God knows they won't want to incur any recurring cost, even if it's this is $10,000, which is chump change to them. What are you giggling about?
The fact that you say it was $10,000 was chump change to the school.
Schools think have any chump change. That's the biggest roadblock of Minecraft EDU. Is it's a not 100% tested and assured way of education, like using it for education. So most school districts are going to be like, fuck this noise. Dude. I'm not touching this shit with a 30-foot pole. And there's going to be a certain subsection of teachers and school districts who see the value in this. The hard part is getting that to go into more districts. Schools don't have very big budgets, and they're super frugal about anything. I'm trying to set up contracts.
I'm just saying they have money,
schools, and they're like, "Yeah, no, we're not going to fucking pay you for 3 months after you've done your stuff for us." Like that's not how best works. Like we have money for it.
They have money. I understand that they're frugal. I understand that they don't necessarily put their money in the right places all the time, but they have money.
I believe.
Well, okay, not all of them.
I believe John Oliver said it the best. While they do get money that come in, it's like pissing in the pool. You can't choose what direction that money goes to.
Yeah.
Wow, that was so very well remembered and very well like an accurate like. Shut up. I'm not done. I'm not going to talk.
So before we move on with more game stuff, I'm just going to briefly say the reason why I wasn't laughing at you, I was laughing at the statement, and not to belittle you, because my mom, when she was a general education, like pre through 6, she would get a budget for supplies, and then we would have to look at our own expenses as a family, and she'd go, yeah, I'm going to have to spend an extra $500 on school supplies to last the first 4 months of the year.
Yep.
Because I've already exhausted everything from the school, and I've used the cheapest versions I can get of everything.
Yeah. It's
we did that.
The amount of money that goes into our school district is fucking astronomically low. It's the world.
I'm just gonna I went to a community college, so it's 100% government funded, and I took a look because all of our professors' salaries were public domain. I took a look at the salary for the dean of arts or something, and he was making like $550,000 a year or something like that, like an insane amount of money. So I'm just saying $10,000 in the realm of paying the deans $550,000 each, and there are maybe 10 of them, and each of those deans has like 7 at least professors underneath them. Like, it's not. I'm just saying, in the scale of the money that they work with, it's not a large sum of it. Now, that having been said, I didn't go. I'm not. I didn't go to a financially challenged area of the world for school, so I understand that that's not the case everywhere. Let's move the fuck on, because this is about video games, and now we're talking about the logistics of school financing. And
I live the teacher's life.
Yep. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about League of Legends. Well, not really League of Legends. Let's talk about Mechs vs. Minions.
It is League of Legends.
It's not. I mean, it's not. First of all, it's not on a computer, so that's your first clue that it's not actually League of Legends. It's board game.
We've seen a resurgence of board games in the last 5 to 10 years with the advent of Kickstarter and Indiegogo, because now we can get projects that might not have been passed because of whatever reason, funds or content or licensing, now can just be created. That's why we got stuff like Super Fight, or in this case, Mech vs. Minions, or other awesome games that we now play and love. So Mech vs. Minions is a Riot-developed game, and it's actually a premium game. They're sculpted pieces for all of the characters. You play as one of 4 characters in the game: Tristana, Corki, Tristana, Ziggs, and Heimerdinger. And the theme is like you're in a school that Rumble's teaching, and then shit goes wrong. And that sounds convoluted because you're protecting these crystals, but the way you play it is essentially coding based. You have a line command that's your play area. and your cards give you specific directions to go, and where you place them doesn't matter. So long as you follow the line command, you just do those things. There's no like alternate. Well, what if I did this? Like, no, does it have it here? Yes, then you do it. If not, you don't do it. And you upgrade these abilities, and your idea is you play through modules. So there's this combination of like a board game, but also mini specific scenario stuff like D&D, where you follow specific rule sets that get changed. And they're saying it's going for $70 US, which puts it on the upper echelon of prices. Yeah, it's a pretty expensive board game, but we've now hit this point with games and like physical board games. We're no longer thinking about Monopoly and Risk as your borderline of card game. We've got a fucking generation of games like Dead of Winter and Super Fight and Resistance, Werewolf. I'm missing a ton of them, but also different games. And so from what I'm hearing, it's pretty easy to pick up Mechs vs. Minions and play.
So for what it's worth, you get 10 cooperative missions. So it's all co-op stuff, and there's 10 different scenarios for you to run through. And according to not Hi-Rez, Riot, thank you. According to Riot, each of them takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play through. And the box contains 5 game boards, which I'm assuming are double-sided because there are 10 scenarios. 4 painted mech figures, which are the characters that the players play. 100 miniature minions, which is a lot of different figurines. It would be fucking amazing if they were all different, but I doubt it. Some dice, some cards, some acrylic shards, and a power source miniature. And some other stuff, some other miscellaneous crap. So yeah, October 13th, $75. We're probably going to play it. So there's that.
I mean, officially, now they can earn the moniker Riot Games. They now have more than one game on their belt.
They probably just made this so they can like justify their name, right?
That's the one thing I hated about Riot Games. Like, you guys only have one game. You guys can't use Dominion as an extra option for your game.
Right, game.
Well, now between this and them acquiring the Rising Thunder development team, I like the fact that they're realizing that a MOBA only has so long of a lifespan that they want to keep themselves relevant and an IP that can remain relevant.
Right.
So I'm down for this, and I'm also down for a hopeful League of Legends fighting game.
I don't. Fighting games suck.
I mean, Rising Thunder did get acquired, and it wasn't a cooldown-based fighting game.
If they make a League of Legends fighting game, it's obvious that they're going to expose some kind of vulnerability inside your computer that's going to absolutely destroy the world because so many people are going to play it. So, if there's anything that we've learned, nobody should play fighting games. That's the lesson from today. Fighting games are bad, okay?
But if you get a chance, to anyone listening, check out the figurines on their own. They all look really, really well done. Every bit of extra bit for this game is surprisingly quality crafted. The price is pretty much being justified. And for those of you guys that don't play board games a lot, a thought may be like, why do I want to spend $75 on a board game? It's just a board game. I don't play board games. They're dumb and they're old and archaic. Look at the recent glut of board games, the really good ones. Their mechanics alone, they're pretty decently worth more than the $15 Monopoly you get at home, which is a shit game with shit mechanics from a shit era. So the bar for board games. Oh god, I can't play Monopoly or Risk with anyone anymore. Not only are the mechanics completely fucked for those games, but I want to kill everybody. And now Munchkin and Cards Against Humanity are going on that list because Munchkin, I've got a hyper competitive family. So when I play games now, I want to play cooperative games because if we do any kind of competitive, they are aggressively competitive. Where they had a 20-minute argument over the minutia of rules on Munchkin, and I went, no, the fuck, I'm out of here. I hate all of you so much. I left the party early because I could not take it anymore. They were that riled up. So a game like this where I don't have to force them to fight against anybody else but a DM screen with rules that are set. Yeah, I'm down. Like, actually, case in point, right here, I've got a board game I got as a gift for a friend. I can't bring it to family events anymore. It's called Nefarious, and it's like you're an evil mad scientist, and you want to be the best evil mad scientist in the world, but it's competitive. So my whole family goes fucking nuts over this game because they're trying to beat everybody at being the best evil mad scientist.
Are you?
Oh yeah. It's super fun. I strongly recommend you guys playing this game. It's super fucking fun. But with my family being competitive, I can't fucking do it. Because someone's like, you sabotaged my game. Fuck you. And it's yelling and screaming about how this didn't happen. And people are swapping out like pieces on the down low. So it's like, oh, I guess I have an extra piece here. I'm like, you guys suck. You guys really suck right now. This is why we can't have nice things.
I don't know why that got me so hard. Adrock held up, for those of you listening to the audio version of the show, Adrock held up a box for a board game and he held it up upside down and I lost my mind. Because apparently I'm the most easily entertained individual ever made. Yeah.
Okay, a quick diatribe before we move on our last little bit. I bought the Jelly Bean.
You bought your daughter?
Little counting squirrel. Yeah, well, she came in a box and I just paid shipping. But so I bought her a little counting game and color recognition game because she was 3. It was like a few years ago, and my nephew was also 3, so I was teaching him that. My cousins found them playing it, and then they were like, "No, you have to shake the board up every time you do it, so it's always random, and then you have to make sure that you only touch it with the edges of the tweezer. So you have to use your skill to make sure that you pull out the thing." I'm like, they're 3 years old, guys. They're fucking 3 years old. The acorn is green. Let them pick it up and put it in the hole. That's the point of this game. But no, you have to do it right, or it's not the way the game is played. I'm like, they're fucking 3, guys. They're 3. It's an acorn. I hate you all. Next.
You're very angry about that. So, anyways, we're gonna go into our last little bit of news, and it is interesting. So you're able to now live stream to Facebook. We've known about that. You're able to live stream videos from your cell phone over to Facebook, and everyone gets those really annoying notifications that say, hey, so-and-so is live on Facebook. It's the worst thing ever. But guys, guess what? You can now live stream your phone games on Facebook.
That is exactly the reaction that piece of news deserved.
Yep. So you can play Clash of Clans or Con Man or Clash of Royal
Run on Facebook
or Temple Run.
So you're telling people,
okay, wait. Before you get too cynical on it, there are already a few competitive mobile games that are carving out their own niche.
Yeah, Clash of Clans has a Twitch.
Clash Royale being one of them. There's a mobile MOBA game. I forget the name of it. That also has legit tournaments. So this is really Facebook just trying to differentiate itself. Same with the Facebook Live and the World of Warcraft streaming. But you're right. That silence should be the cares we give about it.
I'm just going to say, if you're going to take anything away from this last bit of news, which is that you can now live stream your mobile games to Facebook, you should take away the fact that the Clash of Clans acronym is pronounced cock.
No, okay, so I am going to say one other thing. While you can live stream your mobile games, they're also giving you options to live stream, and I'm not joking, makeup tutorials, reaction videos of you watching music videos, karaoke where you can sing along and it shows the song that you're listening to as the words go by.
So they're like muscling in on the YouTube territory.
YouTube, I mean, I think they're muscling in YouTube and Twitch at the same time. The program actually is called BlueStacks. So you can go ahead and check that out. I put the link in there, and you guys, yeah.
Is it just Facebook?
I feel like we're just being too cynical about this because competition's really only a good thing in the grand scheme of things. People aren't really using YouTube Live as much as you think they are. Hitbox is not doing as well as we thought it would, and it's potentially a more superior service.
Yeah, but
Twitch.
Beam's coming out, and Beam's got their own special thing that they've got going on. This is coming out, and the key thing is that you can play mobile games on your computers now. All you have to do is use like the mini HDMI ports that most of
you're already way over most people's heads.
Yeah, that's very true. My mom does not care, but if she can put her Temple Run stream on Facebook, show her friends.
Yeah, but this is a whole thing that you have to do. Like, there's a lot more setup for this than there is to use a fucking mini HDMI port.
Yeah, but you can get walked through this. Like, if you go onto BlueStacks, it will guide you in the process of getting it done. Whereas, let me tell you, dude, I work in IT, and the number one silly thing, in my opinion, that I have to explain to users on a regular basis are what connectors are what. Like, at the very beginning, when I very first started working for this company, somebody would come in and be like, hey, I need a VGA cable. And I'd be like, all right, here you go, VGA cable. And they'd come back and be like, this isn't the right VGA cable. I'm like, There's only one VGA
There's
cable.
only one.
There's not. You don't have any special. No, don't. What do you? Let's
You are
just
not a
go to your
special
desk.
snowflake.
Show me what you have, and then you walk over. This is called DisplayPort. I'm gonna go grab you a DisplayPort cable. And he's like, no, this one's like. Not only is it a huge problem that people don't understand what it is, but it's like people don't know. People don't know they're wrong. Like they think VGA is DVI and DisplayPort is HDMI and just all kinds of fucking crossed wires and fucking confused people. It's weird. I don't know why I went on that rant just now. I'm sorry. Let's end the show.
Someone's got a few skeletons they want to air out there.
Yeah, man. Holy shit.
Yep.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, I am downloading Gordon Ramsay's Dash game on my computer right now.
God,
That's
I'm
a
not your
thing?
friend anymore.
Yeah, well, BlueStack it basically allows you to download all of your mobile games on your computer and play them on your computer and stream them. That's basically what you're doing. You're not actually playing on your phone.
Well, let's end the show.
I'm Indigo. Thank you guys so much for watching Quarter Up. If you guys want to get a hold of me, you can email me at indigo at QueueTimes.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at IndigoQT. If you want to hit us all up on Twitter, you can actually hit us at _QueueTimes. Krug, what's the best place for people to find you?
You can tweet me at KrugQT on Twitter. You can also email me. My email address is krug@QueueTimes.com. And if you want to email all three of us, you can email QU@QueueTimes.com. That's the letters QU@QueueTimes.com. Fuck the people who took @QueueTimes.com Twitter handle. I hate you guys so much. You're the worst
You're never
people
gonna let that
ever.
up, are you?
Nope. Every single day, every single show for the rest of our lives, I'm going to tell them to go fuck themselves. Adrock, where can people get a hold of your sexy butt?
Best way is on Twitter at @RocketDraws. I will hopefully, I'm going to try to do some streaming this week, or some creative streaming this week. So if you have the opportunity to go watch me, it's on Twitch at the same thing. But I'll let you know through Twitter.
I'm a creative.
On that note, we should go before I throw my voice out again yelling at you.
Yes, we should. We'll see you all in approximately 1 hour for /yell. We are not going to stream in between shows because we don't want Adrock to lose his voice more, and Indigo probably is going to go take a nap. So we will see you all next time. Mwah.
See you guys on the forums.